Hey everybody, failed entrepreneur back again, and today's Corona-related video is all about the hot button topic of the day: when to open back up. Right? I did a video a couple days ago on some of the protests that we saw over the weekend, where people are marching on capitals all across the country, kind of angrily voicing their opinion that we need to be opening back up and that the quarantine is doing more damage than the actual virus itself. And did they have a point? Do they not have a point? So that's still the kind of debate that's going on right now. And you're starting to see some cracks in the social distancing and shelter in place orders that are coming out across the nation. Georgia was going to open back up, much to Trump's fanfare, and then Trump did a little flip-flop and said, you know what, probably not a good idea. I mean, I guess you could say Trump started this whole thing by saying we'd be back open by Easter, and that didn't happen. Easter Bunny didn't come to my house, so it's coming to the forefront, right? Can only stay, I guess, at home for so long before people need to get out. Vegas, the mayor of Vegas, who definitely needs people to come and visit, has said that he wants to offer Vegas up as an experimental control test, I guess, basically, and let people come to Vegas and we'll just see what happens, right? Oh, okay. So it was bound to happen, and it's starting to be the issue here: is when is the right time to open up? Nobody knows. That's the scary, the worrying thing. Probably is, to me, is just the fact that, again, nobody knows, and there is just so much conflicting information out there that I don't know if anybody knows what the hell is going on. Right? I've seen a lot of I don't want to say reports, but maybe whistleblowers, you could say, right? Doctors who are coming forward with some troubling information that this might be way overblown. Supposedly, there are, in some hospitals, nurses are being sent home. What? Because there's nothing to do. How can that happen when there's a pandemic? These people in the medical field all pretty much have the same story, which is basically that. Basically, right now, almost every death is being counted as corona, right? So if you come into the hospital with cancer, right, but for whatever reason, you had a fever or something, they're going to count it as probable corona fatality, right? And these people in the medical field are saying that's not right. They are inflating the numbers, right? Everything is like a corona-related death. But when in reality, people actually dying of corona might be heavily inflated, and that is worrisome if true. You cannot deny that people are dying. I also did a video a while ago on, like, statistically kind of the deaths we're averaging per day and how bad is it, and it's pretty bad. We're about 2,000 plus a day in the United States. That's like a Pearl Harbor, like a 9/11 every day. Kind of worrisome. But again, people die of smoking every day. People die of cancer every day. So it's, I don't want to diminish any of that, but it's not good, right? Could be worse. But the end, if this is true, all those cancer and smoking deaths may be rolled into corona. Why? I mean, if you're a doctor, how does that make sense? I don't know. If you're a doctor, what is going on right now? There's just, again, so much disinformation out there. Not disinformation, just conflicting information. That you got doctors, fighting with other doctors, right? You got medical experts who disagree with other experts. Trump's administration doesn't really seem to know what's going on, and any day they could be adopting a new policy or making a new kind of statement, and that makes it hard. People you talk to have tons of, like, literally, for me, who tries to somewhat keep up on this, I go back and forth daily, right? Right? It's like, yeah, maybe they got a point, and maybe we should be opening back up, and it doesn't seem that bad where I am. It's, you know, the cure is worse than the disease. But then it's like, oh, you know, I do one of those videos like, huh, talking to myself. It's a lot of deaths. It's really a lot of deaths. I don't want to go outside. Yeah, but it's so nice out, and man, we got to get people working again. And what about the, you know, long term? What does this look like to the economy? Yeah, but did you see this one guy who was like a protester, and then he died of it really quickly? And that was a one case scenario. But did you see the healthy people? That's great content. So it's rough. And whom the only way to know is to kind of, I think, try it. You got people saying that, and this is valid, I think, that no vaccine is ever going to come, and that the quarantine was only designed to flatten that curve, and it wasn't going to get rid of corona. And if we're waiting to get rid of corona, that's never going to happen. This looks increasingly like it's something we're going to have to live with. And if that's the case, you cannot quarantine forever. So again, when do you rip that Band-Aid off? People are probably going to get hurt by it. Well, people are definitely getting hurt financially, but people will be getting hurt physically from this. And what do we do, right? I get it may be that if you are high risk, like elderly, obese, bad lungs, whatever that we're seeing from this, your life could be very risky and very different. You may have to shelter in place a lot longer than other people, while everyone else tries to kind of go back to some sense of normalcy. I don't know. So the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. To go Rafficon on you, that's very callous. It's hard to do this without sounding callous, but it's just like, there are people out there who are high risk for any number of things anyways, and so they have to change their lifestyles to accommodate. Does that make sense? And corona just may be a new kind of condition to put onto that list, right? You know, you could have like high risk of, like I said, of heart attack. You could have high risk of, I don't know, cancer in your family, and maybe you just have you run a high risk of corona now. I don't know. But like I said, the quarantine was never supposed to get rid of this. The curve doesn't really seem to be flattening either. We've kind of maybe plateaued with deaths, which are extremely high. And I guess people are like, could be worse. It could be way, way, way worse. So it's working. But if it's not even like flattening the curve, I don't know. See, again, you see, I'm wavering here even on this video. Let people go. I mean, there's studies again. I made another video. Great, this is repeat content now. There's a good chance that corona has been around a lot longer than we think, and that you've probably been exposed to it, and that you've probably got your antibodies. And if we raise the number of exposed and people infected with the disease to what the research is starting to show, you can watch the video. It was like a while. I don't know how to link. I'm not going to link. But again, just to suffice, or to summarize real quickly, California, they did a study in a small town who's got antibodies, and it turns out like the results was like 55 times higher than was expected, right? People who seems to have exposure to coronavirus versus like the official confirmed exposures. And again, if that's the truth, if the majority of people, not the majority, but if a large part of the population has it, had no symptoms, didn't really fall ill, that takes the death count, the death rate way down to like less than 1%, right? And if that's true, this could be a huge, huge overreaction. Yes, people are dying because you just run those numbers. People are going to get hurt, but it may not be like the death sentence. It may not be the certainty that we were kind of led to believe. And you're starting to see a bit more of those reports and research studies kind of pop up, kind of saying that. Again, I'm not saying that does not mean the virus does not kill, and that does not mean that it's being affecting a lot of people. Because it's so widespread and so easily transmissible, you're going to get a lot of people who are getting infected. And you got a lot. We know it does take a toll on those that are high risk, right? But again, it seems like most other people, you can shake it off and you don't even know, right? So again, that changes the formula, right? That changes the complexity of things. It's callous to say, but I don't know where we go. How it seems like the consensus now seems to be like end of May. So we got almost another month of this. But it could get very, very, messy. As I don't know if people are going to be so civil for another month, right? So be careful out there, stay safe, don't do anything crazy, and we will see what happens. But again, it's, what the stages of loss, right? You got sadness and anger, and then like you're coping or whatever. Well, when it comes to Corona, we're kind of in the questioning phase, or we're kind of in the resistant phase right now, where we want to go back out and we want to get things back to normal. So again, like I said, we will see what happens. What do you think we should do? Yeah, there we go. Leave it in the comments, and like, share, subscribe. Appreciate it, my rambling, and that's all for today. I got things to do. I know you do too, and I will catch you later. Failed Entrepreneur, out.